Thursday Night Football. Don't you have a green tie on, Nick? Jets in Baltimore to face the Ravens. Baltimore's opening drive, 8th play. Lamar breaking Michael Vick's single-season rushing record with a 5-yard run. Just the beginning of an incredible night for the MVP frontrunner. He tossed 5 touchdowns. He accounted for 298 yards as the Ravens win, clinching the AFC North for the 2nd straight season. After the game, Aaron Andrews let Mark Ingram interview Lamar. Take a listen.
Freaky L, a.k.a. Action Jackson, a.k.a. Era A Apparel. Listen, my dog. Hey, Juno, hit him. Hey, crank. All right, L. Man, you broke Mike Vick's rushing record, man. You the AFC North champions for the 2nd year in a row. How it feel, man? Tell me how it feel, L Freaky.
It feel good, but you know we got a lot of season left to play, and we got 2 more banners to hang up.
So you telling me the story unwritten?
Unwritten right now.
Book unfinished.
Right. Congratulations,
brother, on breaking Mike's Vick record and being the GOAT, the MVP that you are.
Love Mark Ingram, and he's having a phenomenal season behind the mic. But for Lamar Jackson, yes, the season's not done. It's been an incredible, 15 weeks of football for him this year. Why do you think, Nick, so many people missed on Lamar Jackson when he was coming out of school?
It's a multitude of reasons, and first of all, I'd like to congratulate Lamar because he won the MVP. To me, he's no longer the front runner. He is now the MVP winner. There is nothing that could happen in the final 2 weeks of the season to change that, and he'll probably only have to play one of those weeks because they win next week, they lock up the 1 seed, and they can rest in week 17 if that's what they choose to do. But there is going to be, and we're already starting to see it, some significant revisionist history on what was and wasn't said about Lamar leading into the draft. Folks have tried to create the narrative that Bill Polian was the only person who said maybe he should work out at wide receiver. I went back today. Everyone can do this. Set your little Google machine to the dates, the 60 days leading up to the draft. So from the early parts of the spring of 2018 until the day before the draft, type in Lamar Jackson and read the articles. It was teams asking him to work out at other positions. It was multiple supposed experts questioning his height, his weight, even though he's 6'2" and 215. He's the same size as Andy Dalton, which nobody questioned his size coming out of school. He's the average, slightly below average, I would say, height-wise NFL quarterback, a little bulkier than the average NFL quarterback. And it wasn't even just the position stuff. It was vague attacks on character as far as, does he know what he's doing as far as having his mother be his agent? NFL teams supposedly could not get in contact with him. He was not returning phone calls. And it all created a narrative that led to the guy who's going to be maybe the unanimous MVP in year 2 being the final pick of the 1st round. And so why did it happen? Well, I think there were some agents that wanted to get a narrative out against him because he was bucking the system. I think there were some teams who did not want to believe the film at Louisville, which was over 7,000 yards passing his final 2 years, 57 touchdowns passing his final 2 years. And I think it was some of, is he really the face and the voice of a franchise quarterback that we heard leading up to all of it, which led to guys such as Josh Allen being a consensus top 10 pick and Lamar being available for Baltimore with the final pick of the 1st round.
Well, you make some valid points with that, but I think all the criticisms of Lamar Jackson go back to the conventional wisdom that you can't win with a quarterback that trusts his legs more than he trusts his arms. Now, I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson was that at Louisville. I'm just saying in terms of what they project to be at the next level, people are concerned about the longevity that you're going to be able to get from that guy, because if you routinely put yourself in harm's way, if you get outside of the pocket, NFL defenders are going to punish you. And the question is whether or not Lamar Jackson, with his slight frame, was going to be able to hold up. But you have to credit the Baltimore Ravens for being willing to buck the trends, being willing to take the risk, and then build an offense around Lamar Jackson. And now you're seeing that pay dividends. I mean, what they did in terms of being able to have a 3 tight end oriented offense where you have Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst, and Nick Boyle, not only as guys that can be inline blockers, but actual viable options in the passing game, it makes that offense impossible to match up with personnel-wise on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what makes their rushing attack so lethal.
And give Lamar some credit, too, not just for the system they put around him, but for Lamar to know that, hey, I need to bulk up a little. I need to put more weight on if this is the kind of athlete I'm going to be in the NFL. And he came back this season, worked hard, really worked on his passing game, which people said, hey, do you even want to pass? Do you want to pass the ball? Or do you even want to run? Worked on all elements and all aspects of his game. So now he's got his team in this fantastic position, and you wonder, would it be a disappointment now if this complete team doesn't make the Super Bowl?
Oh, I think it would. I think if they don't make the Super Bowl, it will mean they either only win 1 or 0 playoff games, and it will mean they lose a home playoff game. They are in the exact same position my hometown Kansas City Chiefs were in last year. The runaway MVP at quarterback in year 2, the #1 seed in your conference, and the Chiefs season last year ended in disappointment because they got this close to the Super Bowl and didn't get there. So to me, if they get to the Super Bowl and lose, they will be disappointed. I do not think the season would be a disappointment because you get there, there's some great teams in the NFC. There's no home field advantage in the Super Bowl, obviously. But if they fail to make it to the Super Bowl, Canty, at this point, that would be a disappointing year because they're going to be the 1 seed, because they have the league MVP, and because aside from the loss of their center, they are relatively healthy across the board on this team. So yes, to me, the answer is a clear-cut yes. Failing to make the Super Bowl for this year at this point, for this team at this point, would be a major disappointment.
Well, it would be a disappointment just because we've seen them play well against top-quality competition. Yep. I mean, they beat the New England Patriots. They mauled them at M&T Bank Stadium a couple of weeks ago. And then the win that they had against the San Francisco 49ers was a really impressive one, beating Seattle on the road. That's not easy to do. So, yeah, based on what they've done in terms of their performance against quality competition, you would assume that that would be able to translate into the playoffs and they would be able to have success. But, Jenna, even if they don't get to and win the Super Bowl, their window is wide open. Why? Because you have a quarterback that you can build your team around. Your quarterback, if he's a difference maker, allows you to have sustained success. Now, the only question mark about Lamar Jackson is not whether he can win from the pocket, because we've seen him do that. The only question is whether or not he's going to be able to stay healthy. And I think so far, based on him and what he's been able to do running the football and not taking a lot of big shots, you have to feel pretty good about his ability to be available for his team moving forward.
Yeah, that shot he took on the run where he broke Mike Vick's record,
Neville Hewitt,
is one of the bigger shots you've seen him take all year long. He's been very good at avoiding those big shots, even though he doesn't run away from contacts. And I totally agree. Their window is wide open, but they need to look no further than the team I used as an example a moment ago, Kansas City. Kansas City last year was 12-4. And the road to the playoffs went through Arrowhead and they had a bye. This year, they're going to be 12-4, and if the seeding stays as is, they're going to start the playoffs in the wild card weekend as the 3 seed and then be on the road in the second